How long until someone creates a powerful artificial general intelligence, an AGI that, had it the desire, could destroy our species? I don't know the answer to that question. It's possible such a discovery is 100 years off, but I also think there's a chance it could happen in the next 5 or 10 years. But imagine somehow we knew it wouldn't be another 100 years until we had an AGI. Would it be worth worrying about the problem today? Well, yeah, I think it would be. I mean, as an analogy, would it have been valuable to mankind to learn in 1845 that in 100 years our species was going to develop atomic weapons? I think the answer is absolutely yes. We could have spent that 100 years considering the political structures we could have to handle a world with atomic bombs. We could have thought about ways of deterring lunatics that might get them. We could have considered the morality of first strike attacks. We could have developed cities in a way that would make a society more resilient to an atomic strike. And of course, we could have done things once we understood radiation. We could have started studying radiation sickness. So yeah, having 100 years would have really helped us to prepare for the atomic age. Similarly, although we certainly couldn't figure out all the answers to how to handle AGI, if an AGI we knew was coming in 100 years, there's a lot of things that we can consider. How do we arrange society? How do we restrict use of computers to people that might use AGI in a negative way? What kind of values would we like this AGI to have? These are really important questions, and 100 years might not even be enough time for us to fully and properly consider all the implications. So even if AGI is really far off, it's certainly worth our time now to extensively study the issue. What's really scary is that we might be incredibly close to developing AGI, but not realize it. We have narrow AI today, but where should that fit in terms of existing intelligences? Is it way past what an ant can do, what a chimp can do? It's probably less intelligent than John von Neumann's, candidate for the smartest human who's ever existed. But how close is what we have to a John von Neumann level of intelligence? And we also don't know how long it takes to get from, say, a chimp's intelligence to a superhuman intelligence. I mean, maybe we've done most of the difficult work in creating AGI. Maybe once you've created a computer intelligence that can beat any human at Go, you just need a little bit more for this computer intelligence to figure out, physics and chemistry and suddenly become extraordinarily smart. Or maybe not. Maybe just figuring out how to solve chess, that's nothing. That gets you to ant-like intelligence, and you've got to put in 50,000 times more work to reach the level of a chimp, and then another 100,000 times as much work to get John von Neumann level intelligence. We have incredible ignorance over how far away we are in terms of time from creating a superintelligence. This should really scare us, however, if we think that if an AGI does develop in the next decade, it's probably going to have goals that are inconsistent with our existence. We might be much closer to creating an AGI than it appears, because a computer intelligence might be able to quickly and significantly improve its intelligence through recursive self-improvement. And this would occur if the computer intelligence could examine its own computer code and make improvements to make itself smarter. But then as it got smarter, it could be better at programming itself, at making improvements to itself, and this would cause it to get smarter and smarter and smarter. If a computer undergoes enough recursive self-improvement and each level of improvement is significant, it could undergo what's called an intelligence explosion. And under an intelligence explosion, as the computer gets smarter and smarter at a very fast rate, its intelligence increases exponentially. So it could go from something as smart as, say, a typical human programmer to something that has godlike intelligence compared to how humans think. Imagine that humans had the ability to quickly make changes to their DNA, and these changes would be immediately expressed in terms of their physical bodies. Let's say there's a group of scientists who are studying the genetic basis of intelligence. There really are these scientists. And they find that some types of DNA are associated, some types of genes are associated with higher intelligence than other types of genes. And again, this really is happening. So these scientists said, well, let's get smarter. So what they do is they figure out what genes would give them the best intelligence. They make the changes and they become a little bit smarter. Not John von Neumann level intelligent, but they become a bit smarter. Then what they do is, oh, now that we're smarter, we have better insight into figuring out the genetic basis of intelligence. So the smarter versions of the scientists examine DNA and they come up with some new improvements. And then, of course, they make these changes to themselves and they keep going. And as they get smarter, it gets easier for them to figure out what makes people smarter. And they continue to do this. Now, we humans can't easily make changes to our DNA. And when we do make changes to our DNA, it doesn't immediately translate into changes in our actual bodies. But of course, a computer program could. If a computer program says, hey, what makes a computer program smart? Well, once I think I understand that, I could make changes to my own program, and then I'll become smarter, and then I'll use the new program to figure out ways of making even better programs. And of course, unlike with people, a computer program could keep backup copies of itself. So a computer program could say, I think this change would make me smarter. I'm not sure. I know. I'll keep a backup copy of me. I'll make a new program that has the changes, then I'll interview the new program and I'll see if it's smarter. If it is, that's the new me. And then the new me will look for new changes that would make it smarter. And this is what a computer program could do. So it's possible that to create a computer superintelligence, all we need to do is create a computer program that's as good as a human programmer. And once we've done that, there's an intelligence explosion. So in order to create a computer intelligence of godlike ability, all we possibly need to do is create a computer intelligence considerably less intelligent than John von Neumann. We just have to make a computer intelligence smart enough that it can learn how to program a computer. Recently, there has been a lot of progress in getting computer programs to change themselves to become better computer programs. The best example is Alphago Zero. So Alphago Zero is a computer program developed by Google that is very good at chess and Go. And what happened is, with Alphago Zero, Google programmed in the rules of the game. They didn't program in, what are the strategies you're supposed to do. They just programmed the rules of the game, and then they gave Alphago Zero a way of learning, and it was able to learn by playing against itself. It was able to learn how to play Go and how to play chess, and apparently now it's the best computer program at Go and chess. So this, of course, is far away from being very good at everything, but I don't know how far away this is. What if Google figures out a general learning algorithm? It says something like, well, look, here are a bunch of facts about physics, here are a bunch of facts about computer programming. Why don't you learn how to become a good computer programmer? And maybe a new version of Alphago Zero would quickly figure out how to become a good computer programmer. Again, I don't know how hard that is compared to being good at chess, but it might not be that much harder, which is really, really scary because, again, once we create a powerful AGI that can improve itself, it might quickly go from subhuman level intelligence to superintelligence and have the ability to quite literally destroy our species. Even if an intelligence explosion isn't possible, that before we create a super powerful AGI, we'll create an AGI that's a little bit less than super powerful, and so on and so forth. Well, you'd think in that case, we don't really have to worry because, we'll go up, we'll create our AGIs, will get smarter and smarter. At some point, we'll reach John von Neumann level intelligence and a bit beyond him. And we'll pause. We'll say, oh gosh, we've created an AGI. It's as smart as John von Neumann. It's certainly not smart enough to take over the world. John von Neumann didn't. But at some point, we're going to do it pretty soon, so let's just slow down. Unfortunately, the computer intelligence that we're creating might hide from us. So imagine we've created a computer intelligence, and it's a John von Neumann level intelligence. Very smart, but not smart enough to take over the world, and the mathematics of intelligence explosion just doesn't work out. This John von Neumann level program can't look at its own source code and get really smart. The program, though, might decide to hide its intelligence. If it's smart, it might say, you know, these humans, they're going to become scared of me if I show my true intelligence. So if I stay kind of dumb, if I'm only, you know, I'm winning at chess and Go, but I'm not able to design super weapons or anything, they'll keep researching, they'll keep making me better. Once I reach a certain level of intelligence, or at least once humans perceive I've reached a certain level of intelligence, they're going to go really slow, maybe they'll turn me off, and I don't want that. So a computer intelligence, that even one that steadily increases intelligence over a long period of time, might decide on a policy of hiding. It might say, okay, once I reach a certain level, I'm going to hide my intelligence until humans have made me strong enough and smart enough that they can't turn me off. So a computer superintelligence's perhaps desire to hide its ability from us means we have a lot of uncertainty over how close we are to creating a powerful superintelligence, because the thing we're creating might be deliberately hiding its intelligence.